New tee box. This was not here in 2002. So what's different, and why did you do something different for this hole? On number 13, right?
Yep, 13 the par 5 here. It was 555. It's 605 now. We played. We also added 2 fairway bunkers up on the left. From here, it's 275 to get to them, 340 to hit it to the end of them. And on the right side now, with those 3 big oaks, are big time in play now. What happens from this old tee? There's a big cross bunker up there, and then there's another fairway bunker just short, 30 yards short of the green. So now any ball that certainly misses the fairway, it's going to be a great approach shot.
So PJ, you're saying if you got to lay up to 180 on a par 5, you know what, you're sitting there going, uh-oh.
For the average golfer. But for the pros, they'll still take their third shot from the fairway.
Right.
They want the ball in the fairway.
So they don't care, even if they're 180 yards out.
For their third shot.
For the third shot into the par 5. They would prefer it closer, but they're not really going to complain because that gives them a chance to spin the ball on the green. Is that it?
A 6 iron for a pro is like an amateur hitting an 8 or a 9 iron. That's a comfortable club.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hole. Before it was pretty easy. They're getting home driver iron, you know, or 3 wood iron, you know, especially with the wind. So we'll see how it goes. And now we have a little, like a little respite. One of the easiest par 3s on the course, not in America. All right, now we're on 14, which if you said there's any hole at Bethpage Black that you say, all right, they got a break. Is this the hole you would say?
Yeah, we'll give them a little breather before we go across the street.
We'll give them a little breather.
There's been a lot of guys that birdie this, get a couple under par, right, PJ, go across the street and just spill it all back in a hurry.
Unbelievable. And if you played the course as many times as these guys have, when you get across that street, you're talking 15, 16, just hard golf holes, which we will see, and I got good questions about 16 particularly. But on this little golf hole, you guys did something to the back of the green. Did you make this green a little bigger, or what did you do?
Yeah, the green, we expanded the whole back. There's a whole back shelf back there. We added about 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. So we have on that whole back shelf, which is only about 30 feet deep, which we've got some great hole locations back there. And then the bunker garden on the left of the green is new also.
Dead center, so this is what, 160 yards, 70?
Yeah, it's 160 to the center, 170 to the back shelf.
Don't leave it short, right?
This is another hole. On one day, we'll probably put the tees all the way up front. We have a new hole location right 4 or 5 paces on the green, which is really, it's only 15 feet wide in there. That'll be one we give them a little wedge in their hands and let them see what they can do with that.
Perfect.
One day.
Okay. So Craig, has anything changed? There's a tee box in the back that makes this hole gotta be.
It's 470 back there.
470 uphill.
No, actually we didn't play the back tee in 02, and we're not gonna this time. Playing the hole right from here. This hole hasn't changed a stitch actually.
This is just so it's right here.
This is the hardest hole on the golf course, bar none. And
it is.
And it played the hardest in 02. It averaged, I think the stroke average was 4.6 for the Open in 02.
This is right in front of your face. And it's the hardest hole in the course, right?
One of the interesting things about playing the black, it's the angles on these tee shots. I mean, it's a slight dogleg left. It looks like you can kind of hit it down the left and hit the fairway. I mean, PJ probably the fairway. Picking your fairway lines out here is big.
Okay.
Now
I'm dead.
Yeah, but that's the perfect. So now you can show everybody the rough.
Okay, here we are, and this is what makes this golf course as hard as any golf course I can see. And Curry, we're standing right now in what they call fairway, and a lot of us golfers haven't hit this many times. For the Open, they're going to be what, 22 to 24 yards wide?
22 to 29. We've got a couple spots that are actually 35 to 40 in some real wide areas.
All right, so now this is flat, and this is what we call the first cut in here. This is the first cut. This is 6 feet?
6 feet. This is 1.5 inches here. You can see the ball. You'll get like a little bit of a flyer lie, but most of the time they're going to get a decent lie
All
here.
right.
And
After 6 feet is what?
the next 15 to 20 feet, we've got 2.5 here. And this rough here, we're trying to get this so it's, you know, you might get a good lie, you might not get a good lie. We want it to be inconsistent. We want guys to be able to actually have a
Right.
chance to hit the green from here.
So if the ball's coming down and it's coming down hard, you could sit up.
See, that was a bad one. That was a good one.
Right. So now,
This is what we want. We want guys with a lie like this to go at this green, and then with the thought of, he thinks he can get there, he might get it in the bunker, he might make double. Where if a guy just pitches out, he's probably going to make bogeys.
right, and he's not going to have backspin on this ball. At the
No,
green,
and then
right?
the next 15 to 20 feet is 4-inch grass. You hit it in this, it's death.
Death. This is no good over here. This is no good.
This shot here is just a pitch out.
So you're going to take a sand wedge and just pitch it out to the side, right?
And then after that, it just goes to our uncut native area.
Gotcha.
This hole was in the top 4 or 5 difficulty wise on 02. I remember one day when this is into the wind, I think it played actually the hardest hole one day of the U.S. Open last year.
Right, and this is a blind shot. I mean, you can see the fairway from here off the tee box, but really, you don't know.
With such an elevated tee shot, this is a tough fairway to hit. I mean, like you said, picking your fairway lines out here is a big one. This one, you get a lot of guys missing it left. I mean, you think you hit it up the left side of the fairway, you're in the rough. This is, and if you hit it in the rough here, once again.
Well, do you think they care if they hit it in the rough because most of them are going to lay up, or is it they hit it in the rough so much they had to lay up?
Well, I don't really think a lot of guys will lay up. The problem is we'll probably have a lot of hole locations guarded by that bunker on the right side. I mean, they're just trying to hack it. Hey, your best one.
Now we're here at 17. You know, you're playing in the tournaments. You're thinking 207 yards. But now, it's all uphill, right? It's all uphill, so it's got to play more than 207.
It's 190 carry. Get over the bunker. Just to get over the bunker.
You got to hit a ball 190. You can't hit it 189, can you? That math doesn't work.
No.
Right, so Tiger's going to sit back here and he's going to hit a 5 or 6 iron, and he's going to fly it up to the moon. Meanwhile, everyone else is, I mean, 207 yards is like me, I'm going to hit a 4 iron. Or if the wind's in my way, I'm going to hit a 3 iron. Courier may hit a wedge because the way he hits it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to hit a little rescue into this green, right?
Because this is the club I can hit the highest and the furthest. My 4 iron right here is a perfect club.
Right.
But I don't hit it as high as Tiger. So if I hit the middle of the green, it's going to release 10, 12, 14 yards minimum, and that's the back edge of the green or over the green. So I'm going to go in there with the theory that I'm going to hit this 200 yards in the air and just let it, hopefully.
All right, now what? Now Courier's going to do the same. He's got the rescue too, right?
Correct.
So that's like a 4 iron rescue, right?
4, but Craig, you agree, they go higher than a normal club.
And the other thing about this green is it's 2-tiered. The bottom tier, I mean, that green depth is only 25 feet. I mean, you got to have almost the perfect yardage when you're playing this.
Absolutely.
Or like PJ said, you're either in the front bunker or the back bunker. So you really got to hit something high and soft here.
Okay. You got a 1-shot lead in the U.S. Open, and you go to 18, and you're tired, and you got to walk up this lousy hill.
Yeah.
You got to go back. It's probably playing, what, 440 today?
Today, at least.
440. You got traps left and right.
Yep.
You got to hit a good drive.
Well,
How much pressure's on you to hit that good drive? Or do you just sit up and go, oh, I'll do the normal drive when I'm so tired and my back hurts and the fairway settles down and meets in the middle?
remember that diaper machine I told you
Oh,
about?
yeah.
First I go to the machine and I get a diaper because you are just nervous as all get out.
Diaper meaning you might have some excrement or something, right? That's what I'm saying.
So what happens is now, it's technically not a driver hole, which now makes a shot a little bit easier because the biggest, widest part of the fairway is just off the tee. So the further you hit it, the narrower it gets.
Right.
So Tiger is long enough to hit 3 iron, 7 iron, 5 iron, and get the job done. The average guy needs almost driver and 3-wood just to have 5 and 6 iron home.
So if you hit those drivers, those traps are going to come into play. Right?
Exactly why they were put there for.
All right, so let's go back up to the tee and see what's going on. All right, and see. I'm going to hit driver only because
I am too. What the heck?
I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Different other than you have a tee box back here a little further. It's what? How far is it?
No, same tee, same length. We've actually widened this fairway dramatically because the fairway was so narrow, the bunkers were out of contact. So we actually widened it. I mean, if a guy wants to lay back to 180, I mean, he's got almost 40 yards of fairway out there. But the one thing we did was actually we deepened the fairway bunkers by a couple of feet. Fairway bunkers are much more penal than they were in 02.
So let me just ask a question. If where the fairway narrows right into the neck of the fairway, it might be 15 yards wide. How far out is that?
It's 300, 305 to hit it past the bunker. So obviously the further you hit it, the narrower it gets.
How come every golf course doesn't make fairways like that? How come? All these guys that are hitting the ball at 300 and then they roll another 20 yards. Why don't they do that? So you're penalized if you're starting to, you know, if 2 or 3 guys, I don't want to say penalized because one guy can hit the ball 400 yards, but you know, a lot of holes will make a big difference depending on what club you hit off the tee.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way they're designing golf courses now, they are changing the way. I mean, guys are hitting it so far, and courses are getting, you know, we're running out of land to build 8,000-yard golf courses. So, I mean, it's funny to think that they're building bunkers out there that are 300 yards out now, and they're making them, like you said, for the guys who are hitting it that far.
Well, Gary DeRosa will never see a 300-yard bunker, so he's out of play. That's just useless money on him.
I had him play.
Yeah, but Gary's the only one that's been in the fairway all day.
Yeah, that's another truth. All right, Gary, let's go. Lay us go.